his page, and this is what I like. It says, Bama fan, change agent, Christ believer, and advocate. That's a lot of crazy stuff to put in and plus he's a comedian. So let's just bring him up. 3, 2, 1. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? That was a nice intro there.
Well,
I never heard my own bio read out loud. Yeah,
I got asked to be on a podcast a couple years ago, and it was about business because I do some business stuff, coaching and stuff. And
okay.
I used to have some people that work for me, and they would write these little short bios if I ever did anything for me. You know, they make you seem like you're smarter than you are, and you're really not. That guy said, "Hey, can you send me a bio?" I'd never written my own bio, and it was a little humbling and embarrassing. He sent it back. He goes, "Hey, can you shorten it up?" And I felt like I just threw up on the guy with all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing bios anymore. People can go research and find their own crap about me. You got a pretty interesting one, man. I want to start off right now asking you this question. Where were you born at?
I was born in Opelika, Alabama, which if you're familiar with East Alabama, you know that is right on the line of Opelika and Auburn. They share everything. They share phone books when I was little. Everything just says Opelika and Auburn. So, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. You're a Bama fan, but you were born basically in the heart of Auburn country.
Right. But my mom was born in Tuscaloosa, so she's a big reason or the reason that I'm a Bama fan. So it didn't matter where I could have been born in Alaska. I was going to be Roll Tide if she had anything to do with it.
Did you go to high school in that area, or did you move out of that area before high school?
Yeah, I left Opelika in like the 4th grade. And then I've got 3 blood siblings, all boys. All my 3 older brothers, they're Roll Tide also, but they were born in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow. So y'all got grief wherever y'all went pretty much then.
Yeah, but like I said, mom, you know, whether you're Columbus or you're down in Opelika, Auburn area, she was going to make sure you were rolling with the tide. So,
well, I live here in Chattanooga, so I'm surrounded by orange all the time.
There's a lot of crimson up there in Chattanooga. We have some great shows in Chattanooga.
There is, and I said this to somebody today about Tennessee, and I won't go down the football rabbit hole, but I grew up, and when I was in my teenage years and early 20s, it was the 80s. Tennessee and Alabama game was like a coin toss. I mean, it was, I hate to say this, I miss those days. I think they got a good shot of getting back to it if they'll give this guy some time, but I miss those days where that October Saturday meant something.
It still means something to me. I like whooping their tail for 17, 18 years now. I like it like this. Let it just coast on out. Tennessee is a proud program, a proud state. So, eventually they'll figure it out. It's taken a while, but I think eventually they'll put the pieces together and, it'll be a competitive series again. And I think Bama fans of a certain age, Tennessee will always be a big rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
What the records are. And I'm in that generation for sure.
Well, and living up here amongst it, I got the fingers in the face. Number one, we beat you. And I'm like, man, I cannot wait till next year. I cannot wait till next year. Can I ask you a quick question? Where did the genesis of how Bama fans watch football? How did those videos, because you were a comedian, and I want to talk a little bit how you got to be a comedian, but is that kind of where your notoriety just took off?
It is on a large scale. Absolutely. There were other skits that I did prior to this. It's like some silly stuff about my neighborhood and my environment. And they would, do pretty good here and there. But I maybe did like 3 stand-up Bama, and I say stand-up like I was up and I was acting. I'm pretty sure they're still on YouTube. I maybe did like 3 of those prior to 2016, and they got such good reaction. I wanted to get more consistent with it. And then the beginning of the 2016 season, it was after the Bama USC 52-6 blowout and Jalen Hurts' first game. I did the first video, and it's just people haven't looked back.
I'll tell you how bad it is for me. I get frustrated when they're not released early enough. I get up the next day and I'm like, I'm going to go check it out. And I keep refreshing it.
I've been trying to work on that for years, man, but it's The process of making those videos is like 5 hours.
That's what I was going to ask. How time consuming?
It's about a 5 hour process. So staying up to watch all of the games, especially if you got like a late overtime game. Like I remember LSU went to 7 overtimes one time. So if you have to stay up to watch all that to include it in the video, you're not going to sleep until about 7 a.m. And it's tough. Sometimes I'm like, look, man, I'll just take a nap and then do it the morning. Make it in the afternoon. I've tried to get consistent about that, but it is tough.
I was going to think. I was thinking about that. Is it hard? And I have this written down here because I've done a lot of content for different things. Nothing on your scale, but is it hard to keep it creative and new? Do you feel pressure like from the people that tune in? Do you know what I'm saying? Has it become more difficult to do that?
The first season, weeks 2, 3, and maybe 4 after the first video hit, it was absolutely stressful. Now I realize that the videos are taking on a life of their own. First of all, every college week is going to have something different. So you're just recapping. My job is no harder than ESPN's. Right. I just got to show the highlights, and people watch the videos for different reasons, as I learned. So if you're a Tennessee fan and you're used to me like getting on your case, once you win a big game, you're coming to the video like, hey, Jermaine, you guys shout us out because we did good. I know you saw it.
Right.
So, and then if your team loses, you get upset by Vandy, you're like, oh God, please take it easy on us. And then if you're a Bama fan, you're like, all right, we won. What are you gonna do? We lost. We need some medication. So it serves a lot of purposes for college football fans.
I got to be honest. Some of the best Saturdays for me is when Alabama's won and Auburn lost. It's like the double whammy for me the next day. I wake up and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much. It doesn't matter what you say. I just want, you know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm like, hey, come watch this with me, everybody that's an Auburn fan.
It's definitely, when that happens, it's 2 wins. It's definitely 2 wins.
How's your inbox look? Do you get blown up?
On Facebook, I just shut the inbox down, so you can't message me.
Was it because it just got overwhelming?
I tried to respond to people as much as I could, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and it wasn't all bad. It was like 2%, bad, threat or something. But the other 98% was just people wanting to connect. And once I respond to them saying something good about the game, and then people are so nice, they want to talk about their puppies and the kids, and it's cool, but it's very time consuming.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially if you hit. I kept thinking, I wonder what his inbox looks like when he really goes after Ohio State, or if it's a cheap win. I think about that stuff when I watch it. I'm like, man, he's about to get some mail.
Yeah, well, they do in the comments now. They're gonna let me know what they think, but then if they drop it in the comments, there's always another commenter who's gonna get on their case, and now they're arguing, and I don't have to do it.
You're having lunch, and they're over here acting like it's. you actually become a fan of your own post. You're like, hey, this is pretty good. Right. Scroll down.
This is entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for anybody that's watched football with me over the last few years, no matter who's playing, but if I say run the ball, that's where I got it from you. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. Now that I've heard you say that, I don't know, it's been a while now, a couple years. I have found myself saying that more times, especially this past season when they wouldn't do it.
Right.
And then I'm saying it when I'm watching Florida games or my son's, high school game a couple years ago. I find myself going, why don't they just run the ball?
Yeah. And that's the beauty of social media, man. It's taken off a life of its own. I was walking through the USFL games not too long ago. I go to a lot of those, and people you'll hear somebody holler, run the ball. I was like, are they talking to me? Are they talking to Bo Scarborough? Who are they talking to? And then, of course, when people have that struggle win, my comments just light up on Twitter. Everybody say, and it's so fun, man, to see it's some silly thing I said on the video could bring people joy. Like it really means a lot. I'm very humble by it.
Well, and I won't go down this road because maybe if we ever do a follow-up or something like that, we can get a little more in depth. I don't want to do politics. I will say though, to me, sports, and this is where I get mad at us humans, because I think sometimes we just can't help ourselves but ruin stuff.
Yeah.
Sports is supposed to be that place where me and you don't care what me and you vote for at the moment. We're both struggle win. That's what we're supposed to engage in at that moment, right? That's supposed to be what kind of one of those small threads that ties us together.
Mm-hmm. Well, it kind of is still that, but the climate has changed, and we have to be honest about the climate. Like politics, people are more involved in politics than they probably ever been in my lifetime, and probably yours too. So I think having discussions is good. The only problem is a lot of people don't know how to have discussions. Like, we don't know how to disagree anymore, and that's why I'm, having conversations and going on different podcasts. I go on conservative radio. I go on liberal leaning.
Well, I do one a week with a couple of buddies. One's a liberal, one's a libertarian. I'm the conservative. We got to get you on there, because that's what we do. We bring people on and realize that we got so much more in common than we should be able to talk about our differences without calling each other names.
You get it. You
geez
get
almighty.
And I want to be one of the people who doesn't stop the conversations from happening, even though the conversations are hard to have sometimes. Let's still have them. Let's talk about it. Let's find that common ground, because I got a conservative background. My dad is a pastor. I grew up in the Deep South. It's all there. I believe in, love your country, work for everything you get, no handouts, all of that good stuff. But then there's some stuff I'm, progressive about. And, as I get to talking to people, they're like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. And then I'm like, I never thought about it like that. And we're good. What you'll find out is, even though the politicians and the media put all this crazy stuff out here, at the end of the day, people just want to be able to take care of their families, live in safe neighborhoods, raise the kids, and have a little fun.
Absolutely. I said this to somebody the other day. I'll label you a certain way. You'll label me. We label ourselves, right? But then when we start talking about issues, even when you start talking deep on issues, what you'll find is out of 10 issues, I'm probably really conservative out of 4 of them. I'm kind of purplish on 2 or 3. And I might surprise people and be a little bluish on 1 or 2. And what happens, I don't think anybody's 100% anyway. It's not all or one. I think we change on the issues. And for some reason, we give ourselves room to be that way, but not other people.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And what you talked about, being a little blue or a little purple about things, it's just being a human. Like, I feel a certain way about this. I don't like that. I don't. That's a normal experience. But for me to say, because you disagree with me, you are working for the devil, that's
you hate your country. You must hate your country.
Like, right? That's where we gotta pull people back in. Like, calm down.
I think we started treating politics too much like football. We're not supposed to be fan of our politicians or our government. We're supposed to hold them accountable. I will wave the finger for my college team and give them all the grace and mercy they want. Alabama can do no wrong. My senator screws up all the time, and I should let him know that.
I wrote an article comparing football to politics. And if you grew up in the South, you see it. If anybody watching is not from the South and you don't think politics or football now, Tommy Tuberville and Herschel Walker in politics. It's very much like football down here.
Yes, it is.
And in college football culture, when you choose a side, you're not allowed to say good things about the other. That's traditionally how it's been. But of course, we need some folks that'll break the mold and say, hey, that Republican had a good idea. I get on my Twitter often and thank Republicans when they do good things.
Yeah.
I get on Democrats when they do dumb things or very weird things. So that's what the experience to me should be. Like, I'm never gonna just be, hey, I'm all in for this color or this side. No.
Listen, if you find yourself agreeing 100% of the time with your party, you need to check your perspective on that. I think politics sometimes now, Saban just recently got in trouble because he called out, Texas A&M coach Fisher. And now he's like, I should have never said anything. I feel like that way in politics. When we call something out, I'm sorry, I should have just gone with the flow. That's my fault. But Saban got in a little heat about that too, though.
Well, after sitting with the Saban video for what has it been, a week or two now? A little over a week. I realized what happened.
What happened?
Whoever let that video get out, that's the, I wouldn't say troublemaker. They just did their job. But that video was never supposed to get out. He was clearly talking to a room full of, you can call them boosters, you can call them people with money, corporations, whatever. And we really got insight into how those meetings actually look. And when you get that insight to what was, I'm assuming, supposed to be a private meeting, it's going to look away. But
that's right.
I think he thought that he was only talking to them. He didn't think that he was talking to the rest of the world. I think Saban has been smarter than that, but it got out, and now he has to deal with it.
Yeah, he's not known for, I mean, to me, this is probably his biggest media. It's not even that big of a snafu, but he knows how to manipulate and handle the media. That's one of his, I think, secret sauces is he doesn't fall into those traps usually. And so, like you said, somebody released it. And it didn't surprise me. That kind of stuff, that kind of rhetoric behind the scenes from football, when you're trying to raise money or get people cheer, it doesn't surprise me.
Right. Because I think from what I know, that was the last question of the evening that night. So I think if he didn't say that, and we would have never saw that video.
Ever.
I think whoever recorded it and had access to that video, they was like, we got something. Eureka. And then they put it out, and it became the firestorm that they thought it was going to become.
Yeah, they're looking for that person right now. I can promise you, there's an internal search going on for that guy or girl.
I think they found him. I think they're going to have limited access to the program this season.
Yeah, you can take still pictures from the college campus way over there.
Yeah,
we'll wave at you.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you get into comedy, man? How did you end up on the stage?
Oh man, first off, I was a class clown from probably kindergarten through college. I just always liked making folks laugh. I know my teachers didn't appreciate it then, but I always loved making people laugh in some kind of way. And then I had two buddies in Birmingham, my classmate Trey Williamson and comedian Roy Wood Jr., who got into comedy before I did. And once I saw them kind of put it together, and I was in college doing my thing, I was hosting but never telling jokes, just doing public speaking. Like I used to announce football games, basketball games at Stillman, and just doing different things. And I got comfortable being on stage, and then I saw them and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. And I tried it, loved it, never looked back.
Was it open mic? Did you just got up and tried an open mic night? Or
no, I did a show first. One of my fraternity brothers was a DJ, and he got booked to do a gig at UAB. And there were two professional comedians on there. And he said, man, I can ask him if you want to do like 5 minutes opening up. I was scared, but I said, yeah. And I did it, got a great reaction. I just never looked
Do you
back.
remember your first joke?
I can, but I probably shouldn't tell it.
Gotcha. I understand.
I get canceled.
But see, okay, but that's a great thing about comedy. That's supposed to be our safe place where we can really make fun of each other a little bit, right?
Well, I'll give you the premise. I got stopped by a police officer, but the police officer lived a different lifestyle. And so his siren didn't sound like regular sirens, and he didn't have the usual colors of red and blue that police have on. And I think he had like pink and green.
Gotcha.
That was the premise of the joke. So.
And it went over, and then it's all been uphill or downhill, whichever way you look at it since then, right?
The joke went well in 2005. Not sure how
I'm telling you right now, if you ever get hired to do the Grammys, that's coming back up, and you're going to lose that job.
Absolutely.
Hey, I saw in your bio I've got a buddy who's Eric Foster. He saw you somewhere, but he's a stand-up comedian, a radio guy here in Chattanooga, and he's opening up right now. He's traveling. Rodman, the comedian.
I know Rodman. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, he's traveling with him. But I noticed on your bio you worked or opened up or something with Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to say this. I think he's one of the funniest guys on the planet.
Absolutely. I had to win a contest in 2010 to open for Steve Harvey. I had to beat out 31 comedians to get in this showcase. And it was over 2 shows. So there were 16 comedians on the first one, 16 on the second one. And out of 32 comedians, I had to go number 31. So I'm like, man, I know they're going to talk about everything I want to talk about. I was like, I don't stand a chance. Lo and behold, man, when I watched all 30 other comedians before me, and I noticed they were coming on stage and standing in one place. So when I got out there, I moved around, moved side to side, made eye contact with the people, and was it, man. When you beat 31 guys and gals and you get to open up for Steve Harvey, you like, yeah, I might be pretty good at this.
Where did you open up at? Was it one-time thing, and where was it at?
Yeah, it was a one-offer here in Birmingham.
Okay.
At the Civic Center, packed crowd. I still got a few pictures and things from that night. I got a picture of Steve watching me, from the side telling jokes. He actually made sure that his team stopped me and told me, don't leave before I get a chance to talk to Steve. And he gave me about 5 minutes worth of just good advice, man. And everything he said, it really stuck with me, and it's paid off.
That is, man, see that kind of stuff. You like to hear good things about people you like. He was part of, and I know you've heard of it, but the Kings of Comedy.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care if you're pink, blue, purple, white, or black. If you can watch that, was it not Bernie Mac was to me what he was, but who was the Cedric the Entertainer had one where he was backing up an old car and they put the music. Oh my gosh. I bet I watched that 10 times.
Steve Harvey hosting, D.L. Hughley was the opening act, and then Ced the Entertainer featured, and Bernie Mac headline, a legendary comedy special that did wonders for all of their careers. And out of that entire cast, Bernie is the only one I never got a chance to meet. So,
oh really? So you met Cedric the Entertainer?
Yeah, got pictures with Ced, pictures with DL, and of course with Steve. So I got a good little story with all.
I didn't know D.L. Hughley was that funny though, to be honest with you, because I think I saw him on TV or something, but it was like in a sitcom. I can't remember, but when I saw him, when I go back to that, he's funnier than you remember because he was the smaller name at the time.
Absolutely,
but he was
that was the running joke amongst people, that he was the one that you would fast forward on the Kings of Comedy tape, and then people came back after so many years like, oh no, he was really funny.
He was really good,
because he had the D.L. Hughley show, his own sitcom for a while. Ced the Entertainer had his own show. We know about the Bernie Mac show. Steve Harvey still doing well. So that one special in 2000 really set the tone for them and for urban comedy.
Yeah, and let me just go ahead and tell our younger listeners, because this will be on audio later. When he said fast forward the tape, we watched this on VHS tape, boys and girls. There was this thing you stuck in a VCR that always told you it was 12 o'clock. And who was and man, I'm going down rabbit holes. Bebe's kid's voice. Was that?
Oh, that was Robin Harris.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was Bernie Mac or not Bernie Mac. I thought it was somebody else.
After he passed, after Robin Harris, it may have been somebody else.
I think it was.
It was his creation. But you're right. He passed away, and then it may have been somebody who took over the voice.
I thought it was Bernie Mac or Cedric the Entertainer that took it over, but I don't remember because that's they're both gone now. So. Or Bernie Mac's gone, I know. Cedric dead? Has he passed away too?
Cedric, who's name?
Entertainment is Entertainer. Cedric the Entertainer. Is he passed away?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
No, he's still out golfing and having a good time. But
I just don't see him do anything.
Yeah, no, he's doing still traveling. He's got a show called The Neighborhood on, I believe, NBC.
You're exactly right, man. Yeah. Yep. And I just don't have the full disclosure. All I have is Netflix. I have no TV. I have internet and Netflix. I don't have anything on cable. So if it's been on cable the last 4 years, I haven't seen it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, a comedian Faison Love was the voice of Robin Harris on Bebe's Kids cartoon.
Okay.
I think Robin had passed away by then.
How do you put a show together in your routine? Because the reason I asked, I've asked Eric, my buddy, this, and every comedian I found is different. Like some people keep a notebook, some people use recorders, some people sit down every day and focus on it. Do you have a routine?
I I'm a visual guy, so I'll kind of write out just like just one line, like the subject of the joke, and then I can literally re-see it as I'm on stage. Like I can see what I wrote. So I just kind of do it like that. But then sometimes stuff will just come to you while you're on stage. You might say something that makes you think of another joke. So, but I'm a visual guy for sure.
I watched the recent Ricky Gervais off Netflix,
Mm,
and he has a podium where I think he actually has notes. I've never seen that before, where he'll walk over and get a drink of water, but you can see pieces of paper there.
yeah.
And I don't normally, I've never seen comedians do that. Usually they try to hide it a little bit. Do you keep prompts anywhere, or do you just memorize it?
Nah, I thank God, like I said, I got a good visual memory, but I can imagine like if you're trying to remember some new stuff, and you just don't have a great memory like that, then you probably would have to write it down. I probably try to put it like on the speaker monitor at the bottom or something where nobody could really see it. If I
How do you test new stuff? Do you just go to open mics? Do you test it on your friends and family? Do you do it in front of a mirror? How do you test new crap?
all of the above.
Yeah.
Most times you want to go to an open mic and try it out a few times to see, how the timing. Sometimes you just got something in your head that you got faith in. You go up there uh, the night of and try it, and then sometimes you slip it in on friends and see if they laugh at it. So yeah, all of the above.
Have you ever had friends make jokes that are good and you're telling them I'm using that?
No,
No? Okay.
they've
I'm
never.
not talking about comedians. I mean just
Yeah.
buddies like sitting
Um,
around.
Never.
Oh.
Every joke they ever given me was horrible, and they always hit me with the line, "Don't use that in your show," and I'm like, "I promise I won't."
So we got to get you some different friends, man. They got to up their game a little bit. That's pretty
My,
good.
my friends are good at a lot of things. It's just they got to let me do the comedy, and then they do what they do.
Do you do a lot of? I've got to come. I want to come see. I've never seen your. I've never seen a full show. Do you do a lot of like life stuff? Are you more topical, or does it change up for you?
Yeah, my show is pretty cool because the first 30 minutes I'm going to be doing like just a comedian set, kind of talking about my life, my experiences, making it relatable with the audience. And then we'll switch over and I'll talk about the football stuff, but in comedy form. And
Right.
then after that, there's like a 15-minute Q&A, which is I fought against doing that for a while because I had so many jokes, but it has gone so well over the past 3 to 4 years. I was like, yeah, I probably should have did this earlier. So the crowd is really getting a full show and being able to ask me whatever they want to ask. It's people are walking away from my shows like that was a good experience.
They're part of it. You're kind of bringing the social media aspect. They're getting to contribute a little bit to it. Did you
Absolutely.
get that idea from somewhere? I mean, is that something that you just said I'm going to try one night without planning it? Did it happen spontaneous or?
Um, how did it happen? I think I may have been talking to a buddy or reading a book or something. Yeah, I think I was reading a book and it just said overserve the audience.
Mhm.
And what I took that to mean was, um, okay, they came for me and they came for this football thing. Just give it to them. Don't try to hide it. If give them the football stuff, and then let them have access to you by asking whatever question they want to ask. And that the Q&As end up so funny. Also, it's still a comedy show. Like it's just really, really fun.
That's what I was going to ask. How long have you been doing the Q&A part of this? A year, 2
About
years?
4 years. About 4
Really?
years, I think.
Have you seen a
Mhm.
difference in the questions? Are they become some of them pretty serious? Is it all about football? Have you seen it change, or is it pretty consistent?
It's a mix. Most of it is football. I'd say about 80% of it is football, but every so often I'll get asked a question about something personal, about a political stance or something. It,
Does that
it's
ever make you nervous on the stage at all?
no, Absolutely not. I want them to ask and engage, because I'm going to be honest, and I'm at the point in my career where I'm not trying to say something. I actually got something to say. So ask away.
Man, damn it, that's a good line. I'm not trying to say I don't have that mirror. I have to write it. God darn it. Yeah. I'll quote the wise man amongst us, Jermaine Funnymaine Johnson, when I say that. That was a good line. All right, 2, 3 more things. I'm gonna let you go. One, how do you deal with hecklers, man? Because I got real quick. Here's why I ask.
Yeah.
I go down a YouTube rabbit hole every now and then.
Yeah.
If you ever want to have fun, just go type in comedy comedians and hecklers, and some people handle it well, and some people are just get petrified.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had to deal with many, and some of my buddies, my personal buddies, are on some of those heckler videos. I don't know why they post them, but they do. I haven't had to deal. My style of comedy is not. I'm not really attacking the crowd. I'm kind of making fun of myself. I'm keeping it lighthearted. There's no cursing at my shows. So
you're a lot like Bill Burr. No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
no, no,
You're
no.
nothing like Bill Burr. I'm
really
just kidding.
not.
Yeah.
So you have to really be in the mood to come into my show and just want to heckle, because I'm there to be inclusive. The crowd is there with a big smile. It's like a big pep
It's
rally.
a feel good thing.
It is. It is. So you have to be really built a certain type of way.
If anybody wants to see the opposite of what you're talking about, I think it's a 14-minute rant Bill Burr did in Philadelphia years ago. Have you ever seen that?
I think I know the one that you're talking about, kind of in a dark room, smaller room. Yeah.
It was not a feel-good moment for Philadelphia. So you're the opposite of that show. And Bill Burr's one of my favorite comedians too. So all right, let's see here. I got a couple more questions, but let's do this, because I promised I wouldn't keep you over the 30 or 40-minute mark. You've been really good with your time. Can we play a quick game of Would You Rather?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to ask you. I've got a couple questions that are pretty simple. We'll start off easy. There's no right or wrong, unless if you agree with me, then it's probably more right. But we'll see. Pancakes or waffles? You can only have one for the rest of your life. Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, I gotta go waffles, man. Waffles. It's just waffles, and it's crazy because they're literally the same batter. But I've had some really great pancakes, but I've had some consistently good waffles. Like I gotta go waffles.
They got those little squares that get the butter and the syrup.
Oh, right in. Oh man,
especially when you get the butter, a little clump of butter.
You right, bro. You
at 2 o'clock in the morning at a Waffle House, a good pancake will go well.
But I've had some bad pancakes too. I never had a bad one. I've had some bad pancakes.
Too dry, too thick, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be good.
You ever had one that wasn't all the way cooked? And you get that? Oh, that's the worst.
That little soggy, half oozing middle. You're like, oh no, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they can't you can't send it back to redo. Like, hey, can you put this back on the grill? No. If you can only have one of these for the rest of your life, French fries, tater tots, or onion rings?
Tater tots.
Okay.
Tater tot me, please. Tots are just, again, I don't know if I ever had a bad tater tot. I like them. I do like them a little crunchy.
Yep.
But they're always just like a good little go-to snack. And they go with a lot of meals. Fries, you have crinkle, you can have this and that. And then I'm kind of iffy on fries, because I've chopped 1 million potatoes in my life. None of them ever tasted like McDonald's. None of them tasted like Burger King, Rallies. So what are y'all making y'all fries out of? Because they don't taste like the natural potatoes I cut. So I'm side-eyeing them. But
they're spraying something on there that's coming from a lab. There's
if I had to guess, I had to guess.
Kevin Wright. Who would you rather kiss, Kamala Harris or Stacey Abrams? Come on now. Come on, Kevin. I know Kevin. You're just trying to make
two beautiful ladies. But Stacey Abrams, outside of just,
I'm going Kamala Harris. I'm going with Harris.
Yeah, well, here's the deal with Stacey. I love what she did, not only for the rural parts of Georgia. If people really dig into what she did, she didn't go down to these rural areas to promote herself over the past couple of years. She went down to these areas talking to Black, white, Latina, everybody, teaching them the importance of voting. And now we're seeing record voting numbers, in Georgia. And I followed her for a long time. She literally was not going down there saying, vote Democrat, vote this. No, she was saying, vote, and this is why. And for that, I'll definitely give her a kiss on the forehead, man. And she really turned things around in Georgia.
I'm just telling you, Kevin, I'll answer. I'm going with Harris. That's the one I'm taking. And he said, or Clint. I'm going with Harris over me.
He's pulling a power move. He just wants to kiss the second most powerful politician in the world. So that's what that
listen is. I'm at that age where I need something help. I need some help. I don't have a good retirement plan, man. I'm all in on the power if I can get part of it. I'm okay with being a hypocrite when it comes to that. Let's see, beach or mountains. You can only go on one vacation, beach or mountains.
Oh wow. Oh, this is really tough. I really love both. I gotta go with beach though.
Really? See,
I got that, and I know because if I say mountain, I can probably get in some hunting, maybe a little fishing, and that sounds great. But it's also a lot of work. Beach, I'm all relaxing, and I've been to both in the past year. So,
all right. So really here's the deal with the beach though, because I'm as Irish. I don't get tan, I get red. So you take me, 54-year-old hairy, pasty white dude, and you put me in a paste on a beach where there's grain. And then, hey, how are you doing in July? I like the beach in March or April and September, maybe October. Are you a middle of the summer beach guy?
Oh, I'm a Leo. So absolutely. Give me the hottest month you can give me. I got the Leo August birthday vibes. I got the African genealogy in me. Give me the heat. I can deal with it.
My dad is almost full. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I did find out 3 years ago. I went down to the Bahamas with a friend, and this was new to me. I didn't know Black people had to wear sunscreen. I didn't know. I started peeling. I freaked out. And I learned my lesson, man. But
did you get sore? Did the skin get sort of touched? Did you actually get burnt, or did it just start peeling?
Yeah, it was just a peel over the whole head and parts of the face, and it came right off. And now the skin is back glowing. So maybe I just got the bad skin out the way. But
the weak ones. It got the weak one. My dad is almost full-blooded Cherokee, and both two of my three kids had red hair, and they're anyway, he used to go pick them up from the daycare, and in the summer, my dad gets dark, like dark,
wow.
right? Wow. And so he would always call me, and he goes, by the way, every time I go pick up your kid, my grandkid, they look at me like I'm trying to kidnap a baby. They like 3 times checking my ID, like, I got to call the father and find out.
That's hilarious.
All right, here we go. Last couple ones. This one is, I think, going to be pretty tough for you. First of all, do you like mornings or evenings better, sunrises or sunsets?
Oh, wow. Again, tough. I would say this. I'm more productive late at night.
Okay.
My fiance, she hates it, but it is what it is. I could do pretty good in the mornings, but I'm telling you, bro, 1 or 2 at night, I can like read a book, I could work out, I could do everything. So I'll say,
are you reading a book or are you listening to books? Which is your favorite?
I read. I'm old school paperback. I bought a Kindle, but I never use. I can't do it. I need to be able to touch the paper and all of that.
It's books smell. I know it sounds weird. I love the way books smell.
I put my nose right in the crevice and I smell it. I do it with mail too. Like, and I probably shouldn't because I don't know if that's
okay. That's weird, man. I love the books. There's a nostalgia there. It's the mail. I definitely put it right in there. If you're smelling like hoping maybe that smells like I'm winning the lottery on that. That's the clearinghouse publishing win coming in. Hey, if I gave you 3 tickets to any comedy show in the history to go see any comedians ever, dead or alive, that you haven't seen, past or present, who would you go see? 3 tickets.
I'm going to see Chris Rock. I'm going to see Richard Pryor. And I'm going to see, who's my third one? Then I gotta go see. I'm going to see Roy Wood Jr. Those are
I've
my.
never heard of him.
You should look him up.
What's his name?
Roy Wood Jr. as a personal friend and just a funny guy, and also from Birmingham, who literally left the door open for me in comedy, man. For eternally grateful, but just a great comedic mind. He's a comedian's comedian. Love him to death, man. Really.
That's awesome. I'll look him up. Any team you're worried about this year? That's the final question. Any team. Well, we got to wrap it up with some football, right?
Yeah. Any team that I'm worried about is, this is gonna sound cocky. On the schedule, not really. And that doesn't mean nobody has the opportunity to beat us. But I remind people all the time, Nick Saban has only had two undefeated seasons at Alabama, 2020 and 2009. That's it. So every other time, somebody is beating them. So there's a high possibility we may lose to somebody. Could it be Texas A&M again? Could we go to Austin and get upset? Could Auburn do the unthinkable and Bryant Denny?
No. Hey, did the play calling frustrate you last year a little bit? Do you mind me just keeping you one more minute asking that question? Because
for the Iron Bowl?
Well, the play calling, did it frustrate you overall last season a little bit? Do you find yourself sometimes, I forget that our systems change, because you remember 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even 9 years ago, we were 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and our defense was just, you're not going to get the yard. And then we became this run and shoot, run and gun. And so I get frustrated sometimes when it's, 3rd and 3 and we're doing, I'm like, just what are we doing? Does it frustrate you, or you got a good perspective?
It's frustrating at times, but I think that we didn't look at the fact that this was a very young team last year, and this was a young coaching staff. We had new trainers, new offensive coordinator, new, I believe, running back coach. So it takes time to gel that together. I think they overachieved. They got to the national championship with losing everything that we lost after 2020. You can't just replace Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and Najee Harris and all these guys.
And then we had some key injuries early in the season from our defensive line. And
then going into the championship, you lose Mechie. Jameson goes down. So I think they did pretty good to be young and then to have a new coaching staff. So I think this year their experience is going to play in, and Bill O'Brien is back and a lot of other key pieces back. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Are you somebody that you can watch the games with people? I've got Alabama friends. You can't watch a game with them. They just said
it's not my. I like to watch the game alone. I do.
Do you really? Okay.
I really do, because I need to go through all my little rituals and everything, and I need to be crazy by myself. And yeah, I'll go to a watch party. I've been to a few, but it's not my favorite. I feel like when things are going bad, I'm at a watch party, I'm like, y'all are just bad luck.
Y'all bad juju, bad vibes.
Very bad juju.
Very bad. That's awesome. Hey, you and I know you said we didn't have to bring this up, but I want to make sure I do, because I want people to, if they've not been to your show before or even found you online, can you tell people how to find out more about your upcoming tour, your videos, all your content? Where can they go find out more about you?
Yeah, I made it simple for everybody. Go to one website, funnymaine.com, FUNNYMAINE. It's got links to my social media. You'll see the flyer for the tour as soon as you log in, and you can sign up for the email blast if you want to get that info straight to your phone. So funnymaine.com, get you everything you need.
And the link is in the description here. I'll put it in the show notes. And here, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following it, go ahead. Be patient with him on Sundays. He may he may be having some waffles trying to get some energy.
Right. I may be asleep. I may be at church. They cuss me out every week though, man. I love it.
Well, I'll just say this: as you move forward, I'll keep in touch as much as possible. I'd love to have you back on down the road, talk about other stuff, maybe.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But I just know up here in Chattanooga, you got quite a few people that are tuning in on Sundays and supporting your content. You're doing good stuff, man.
Thank you, bro. I gotta give a shout out to probably the entire state of Tennessee, but Chattanooga is. I go to Chattanooga and we'll sell out like 4 shows in 2 days. Nashville will sell out 1 or 2 that night, and then Memphis will sell out a theater. But Chattanooga is just a totally different energy, and you guys are up there growing, just doing some nice things with downtown and surrounding areas, man. So shout out to Chattanooga. And as one of my patrons at the show a few years ago nicknamed it. I said, does Chattanooga have a nickname? And he said it's Chat Nasty. And everybody turned around and said, we've never heard.
I've heard Chat-a-Vegas, but
but after that night at the show, that was an inside joke between me and Jay. We call it Chat Nasty. So
next time you come to Chat Nasty, man, I'll keep an eye out for it. I'd love to come watch you, dude.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Go have a great weekend. See you. Bye, everybody.
God bless y'all.